From Daniel Studios in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's the Dennis Daniel Show. Tonight's guest, voice actor Matt Hill, and your announcer, me, Belle Dandy. And now, here's your host. He is Cincinnati's next big radio personality, Mr. Dennis Daniel.
Yo, it's me, it's DDP.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you have tuned in to Blog Talk Radio's hottest talk show segment, The Dennis Daniel Show. I am your host. I am Cincinnati's next big radio personality, Dennis Daniel. And I'm going to be the personality that turns 25 this week. That's right, I turned 25 years old, and I am celebrating in the biggest way that I know how. We are wheeling out the Chunky Puffs, the Pudding Skin, and of course, the Jawbreakers. Because tonight on the Dennis Daniel Show, we have got voice actor Matt Hill. Now, for those of you who don't know who Matt Hill is, then obviously you didn't have a great childhood like I did. Because Matt Hill is best known as everyone's favorite no-chin-having, one-eyebrow-wearing, chicken-loving, jawbreaker-licking, everyone's favorite lump, Single D Ed from the iconic Ed, Edd, and Eddy. And with Cartoon Network turning 20 years old this year, we had to break out some of the Cartoon Network stars. And none other than Ed, Edd, and Eddy is a staple in the Cartoon Network dynasty. Let's face it, you can have your Chowder and your Flapjack and your Gumball, but a core list of cartoons that made up the 90s for Cartoon Network included such titles as Cow and Chicken, Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, the Powerpuff Girls, and of course, Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Now, for those who have never seen Ed, Edd, and Eddy, you missed out because Ed, Edd, and Eddy was, is, and forever will be one of Cartoon Network's greatest cartoons ever made. You know what? It might even be one of the greatest cartoons ever made. It focuses around the lives of three teenage kids, Ed Double D, and Eddy, and their attempts to get money to buy the unnormally huge Jawbreakers that fill the city of Peach Creek. We didn't learn about the name of the city until the Valentine's Day special, apparently. All this during the dog days of summer. Summer when you're a teenager, especially being a kid, it's a wonderful time. You get to sleep in, you get to stay up late, hang out with your friends, go to the swimming hole. But if I lived in the cul-de-sac with Ed, Edd, and Eddy, it'd be a laugh and a half, because these guys did everything to get the money to buy Jawbreakers. They hypnotized their friends. They built a rocket car. They tried to use Johnny 2x4 to annoy money out of the kids. I even believe they tried to convince Rolf that he went back to his homeland in an episode. And that's where we got the infamous "That's My Horse." And of course, one of the stars of that show, Matt Hill, voices everyone's favorite love, Ed. Now, why does everyone love Ed? Is it because he's articulate? Because he's debonair? I don't think so. I mean, the guy, if you've seen his room, puts mine to shame, actually. He has seagulls in his room. That's something. And of course, aside from Ed, Matt Hill's also known as the infamous Kevin Keene, also known as Captain N, the Game Master. Of course, in the 80s, Captain N was a series that mixed in this regular teenage kid and sent him to a world called Videoland, which was comprised of different video game titles like Mega Man, Donkey Kong, Castlevania. And it was really cool because he got to work alongside so many great people that he would work with later on in his career. But of course, I can't do a good enough job explaining it, so I prepared a small demo reel of some stuff that makes Matt Hill so incredible. So let's take a quick listen.
Well, it took you long enough. I suppose that you finished off all your pancakes, because I could happen to notice you didn't bring me any leftovers.
Aw, Kiro.
You know, Sakura, I was thinking about the incident at the aquarium. You said the penguin and trainer almost drowned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, penguins are strong swimmers, and the trainers there are naturals in the water. And even if the drain did open up, it shouldn't have had enough power to keep them both down.
That's really something I'd expect from you, Ed.
It's really something I wanted to do, Double D.
Woohoo! Demolition Derby, boys! Go crash, huh, Ed?
I've seen better, Eddie.
What?
Look, the tractor is still intact. You could have done a lot more with the tree, and you've hardly wrecked Kevin's fence. And the steering wheel should be rammed over your head, like so.
It's war, I tell ya!
Slide on the soap. Slide on the soap. Slide on the soap. Slide on the soap.
What? How did we get here? Simon Belmont, Kid Icarus, Mega Man?
And you must be Captain N.
You guys aren't real. You're just so many computer bytes in my game cartridges. Wow, they're real. Where am I?
Well, you're in Videoland. The Ultimate Warp Zone brought you here.
You mean like Warp Zone 4 and Super Mario Brothers?
Something like that. The legend foretold of your coming to help restore freedom to our world. That's why it gave you that super power pad and zapper.
Me restore freedom to Videoland? Hey, I don't even have my driver's license yet. And this is just a toy. This can't be happening to me.
So what if he did use us? You don't care? The Band of Seven were originally mercenaries. We were hired by clan lords, and they didn't give a damn about us either. When we became too strong and dangerous for them, they hunted us down and chopped off our heads. I never trusted Naraku right from the very start. But now I'm resurrected, I can do as I please. I'll kill anyone that gets in my way, even if it happens to be Naraku. It's all about greed, Inuyasha. We're all the same. That dried-up old Saint Hakushin, the dead priestess, even you. You live only because of your insatiable hunger for life.
So as you can see, Matt Hill has had a prominent career in voice acting. And aside from voice acting, he's also known as Raphael from the third Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle live-action movie and Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. So, not only are we going to get a little bit of an aspect about voice acting, we're also going to learn a little bit about live-action acting. And there's even rumors that he hung out with Jackie Chan on the set of Shanghai Nights. Is it true? Is it false? I guess we'll find out when we start the interview. Let's get right into this. I'm excited. Birthday week, turning 25. Things are going super fine. Got my CM Punk t-shirt on, and I'm excited. So here we go. My guest tonight is a very prominent voice actor who's best known as Single D Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy, Kiro from Cardcaptors, Bankotsu from Inuyasha, Raphael from Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, and the third installment of the live-action TMNT movie series. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give it up for the one, the only, Mr. Matt Hill!
Hello, is this Dennis?
Is it? You bet your sweet Bibby, is this who I think it is?
I somehow warped through a Mega Man thing with my buddy Kiro, as well as I had to run away from not only the Kanker sisters, but from this really evil guy named Bankotsu. But then my turtle brother Raphael helped me to find my way to you with some Jawbreakers and gravy cakes for you.
I'm not worthy, Ed. I'm not worthy, Ed.
I'm not worthy. Oh, brother. Wow. You know, what an intro. I haven't heard some of that stuff in a long time.
Well, see, Matt, here at the Dennis Daniels Show, we like to give the audience a full retrospective on some of the voice acting guests' greatest highlights. And, of course, that's not all of them. But if we had all of them in the intro, we'd be here all day. And we know that you, the prominent voice actor, have a lot to do. And I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this. This is like a birthday present to me because, again, Ed and Eddy made a core chunk of my childhood. And I say that about Pokemon and WWE and Mario, but Ed and Eddy, if there was anything that I could count on, is that those three Eds would find themselves in some pretty crazy shenanigans.
Yep, you and me both, brother. Absolutely. Oh, man. Well, you know, I mean, doing as many seasons as we did of Ed, and Eddy, you know, honest, it felt like we were truly living, you know, in Peach Creek and, you know, at the end of the cul-de-sac with that, like, long, endless summer. Cause, you know, me and, Sam, who plays, Double D, as well as Tony, who plays, Eddy, you know, we also became like really amazing friends through that too, you know, so, you know, art imitating life or vice versa, you know?
Hey, you cannot get any better than that. And again, Ed and Eddy was the dream of a lot of teenage boys, including myself and my co-host John Pokemon. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the program. So what got you interested in acting?
You know, it's one of those things where, you know, I without sounding, what's the word, cliche, it was something I kind of felt like I was born to do. You know, it was kind of a proverbial light bulb moment when, you know, me and a couple of the girls that lived on my cul-de-sac actually growing up here in Vancouver, Canada. We used to do these, you know, these sort of like variety show things, you know, underneath the streetlight, and because it just shone down on us just perfectly. And, you know, so they were my doo-wop girls, and I was sort of like, you know, the middle stuff inside the Oreo cookie. And we would do these like song and dance things, and you know, before we knew it, we had like the rest of the, you know, the cul-de-sac people were, you know, coming and seeing us, all the other neighborhood kids, and you know, it turned on to kind of like monkey hour on a Sunday night, you know. So, you know, I thought it was always kind of funny when, especially when Ed and Eddy came along, you know, that like literally these, you know, these three kids and all their friends, you know, they're hanging out on the cul-de-sac. I'm like, I totally know that life, you know. So it was wild. It was, you know, I mean, obviously it was you know, it's been a 25-year, you know, unbelievably incredible journey. You know, but I do remember that moment, you know, when I thought, wow, maybe I could do this, like, you know, for real, you know, and it was, you know, pretty early on in my life. And so, you know, I kind of began. I mean, I almost quit high school, you know, after the 10th grade, because I was like, okay, now I know what I want to do, so come on, let's just get on with it. And, you know, thankfully my dad convinced me to, you know, stay till the 12th grade and, you know, graduate. And then basically it was like, you know, the rest is history, really.
Well, you know, education's really important, and it sounds like, you know, that was the opening door to a very, very, very wonderful career.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Yeah, no, you know, it's like anything, right? It's, you know, you definitely get your very bestest learning on the job. I mean, you know, there's you know, there's like 1,000 classes that could not get you more ready than, you know, your first day in the studio. And when, you know, that red light goes on and it's like, oh, okay, here we go, you know, and, you know, you got to make it happen because, you know, in some respects you've got, you know, a few shots to get it right. You know, and I was very, very fortunate because I also started doing my craft. I mean, I started with like the film industry was starting to really, you know, heat up here in Vancouver when I was, you know, still in high school. And so that kind of, you know, it kept me from chewing it a bit too much, you know, when I'd made the decision to stay in school till after. And then really pursue my career. But, you know, I was able to do enough stuff while I was still going to school that, you know, I learned my chops. And so that when I got my, you know, my first official radio gig, which was do you guys have, your national radio down there is NPR, isn't it?
National Public Radio, where they talk like this.
Yeah, okay.
They talk all close and quiet.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. We have the same thing in Canada, and it's called the CBC. And, I ended up getting one of the very last live recorded radio plays that they used to do. And it was amazing because, every Friday for 3 years, I'd trundle down to this location where we did it at this local, market called Granville Island down here in Vancouver. And, literally for 5 minutes, we'd be live across the country, like uncensored, no, bleep button. So I'd even have to write like on my hands, don't swear, things like that, just so that I made sure that, that didn't happen. And, it was probably one of the greatest ways to sort of like get my chop on. And, and then as they say, a lot of, working with the people I got to work with on that, they then introduced me to, the local voiceover scene here in Vancouver. And, subsequently, I guess about a year after that was when I got my first shot, in animation. And that's when Captain N, the Game Master, came into town.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it seems that the CBC has been a big door for a lot of voice actors. When we talked with Kathy Westlook in February, she talked about being...
Oh, cool. You talked to Kathy? She's awesome.
Oh gosh.
I think she is very sparkly.
Yes. I learned a lot from Kathy. One, she still got it as shampoo. Two, never, ever say to her, you've never seen Cyber 6.
Whoa.
And three, I like shampoo. Oh gosh, she is something else. And of course, you worked on a Ranma 1/2 as well. You were also a Pantyhose Taro.
Thank you. Yes, I was. Yep.
Kind of a weird name there, Pantyhose Taro. But then again, I guess Ranma 1/2 wasn't about normal names.
You are right there. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've been really, like I said, so blessed because, our whole Vancouver, acting scene, film, television, and, especially voiceover, we all grew up together. I mean, we're all, me and Kathy and, like I said, my buddies who, I did Ed and Eddy with and everybody else in town here. I mean, we all kind of started working on tunes and other stuff, like, kind of all around the same time. So, it was a really, really cool time, and, to now be like looking at like, oh my God, like I'm now at year 25. It's like, what? Where did the years go? But it's cool because I just feel like it, especially being an actor, it's always changing and it's always unfolding. And, just when you think that, oh, okay, maybe the jig is up, you end up scoring just an amazing new gig that takes you on a whole new chapter, So, I mean, I don't think any of us thought that Ed, and Eddy was going to go 8 seasons. And I don't know, how many movies did we do? What, like 3?
No, I think you did 3 specials. You did Hanky Panky Hullabaloo, Ed and Eddy's Boo Ha Ha, and the Jingle Jingle Jangle. Then you had Ed and Eddy's Big Picture Show.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, I think we were thinking at the beginning, going like, well, okay, great. If we do a season, awesome. And then, but then Danny Antonucci, the absolute creative genius behind this whole thing, he kept saying, well, boys, our numbers are good. Don't, keep going and don't suck. It was, so it was a real testament to, not only, the brilliance that he put together, but then, as you say, Cartoon Network believing in this show and, really helping to get it out there. And, I humbly say we did some big kicking of arses around the planet, It was a very, I feel very, blessed to have been a part of it, because like now I get, invited to go to animation conventions and say, do a radio show like yours. And it's so great to, to hear from people who, like you'd said, Ed and Eddy especially had been such a huge effect on their childhood. I love that moment of, I was actually announcing a bike race in Southern California last week, and so completely unrelated to what I was doing there. I'm announcing this this cycling event, and all of a sudden I just, for whatever reason, I broke into, I said like an Ed line. I think I said something like like, okay, you crazy racers, have a great ride. And the 2 girls that were beside me, you see this look of like, did you just say what I think you just said? And they're like at them, I'm like, you like Ed and Eddy? They're like, oh my God, that was our childhood. So it crosses every line, and it's a real honor to have been part of.
Well, I've said it before, Matt, and I'll say it again. There is no show on Cartoon Network like Ed, Edd n Eddy. I mean, you can have all the Johnny Bravo and Dexter and Cow and Chicken and Ben 10 and Chowder and all that stuff. You can even throw in Adventure Time in there, but nothing will come close to Ed, Edd n Eddy. That show pushed so many boundaries in Cartoon Network's history, and it redefined what it meant to be a cartoon, which is why I say Ed, Edd n Eddy is Cartoon Network's greatest cartoon series.
Wow. Greatest cartoon series. Yep, you know what? I would have to agree with you there, Dennis. It was, like I say, it was just a blast, to be part of, and and even more so too. I mean, Double D has become one of my best friends in the whole world. So I mean, it's like, I mean, the payoffs are just huge, and to now know, I don't know, I'm not sure if you know, but I ran around North America a few years ago. On a run tour that I created called Run for One Planet, and it was literally to run marathons around across Canada and around the perimeter of America to talk to kids mainly about making healthy choices for themselves and the planet, and using our action of running a marathon every day to to sort of like inspire them forward. And I tell you, I never in my wildest dreams would I realize that it was also all the cartoons that I had done, especially Ed, Edd n Eddy, and then my buddy Raphael in Ninja Turtles, that would completely help us like instantly connect with kids young and old, right? And it was amazing because instantly we were brought in like they already knew us, because I'd be like, hello everybody, who wants to help me save the planet? You get 1,800 kids going, I want to save the planet with Ed. It was pretty amazing and very humbling as well at the same time.
I kind of find that a bit ironic, considering Ed's dietary intake of gravy, pudding skin, chunky puffs, Jawbreakers, and the fact that he runs with his back going,
Exactly. I don't know how many times I had to run across gymnasiums, sort of like cranking my back and my head backwards, and running across the floor. But, like I said, it was like, I mean, what an honor and a gift to be part of something like that, And I mean, and I swear to God, we all wondered whether we were going to get fired after the first show, because we had no idea how it was going to go, because even the road to getting to be on Ed, Edd n Eddy, was usually you do maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 auditions, to get the part, and then you start recording. Well, Danny Antonucci had such a crystal clear vision of what he wanted the voices and the characters to sound like. And so I think it was unprecedented in Vancouver at that point. I think we did something like 14 callbacks, to finally get the nod to do this show. And I know the one thing that finally threw it over the edge for me, and because I was at one point I was so frustrated because I didn't think I was nailing it, and literally I tapped the microphone, and so the engineer said it sounded kind of like doof, 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 and I just went hello, how do you get water from this thing here? And it was the first time Danny absolutely broke up laughing. And he's like, that's Ed! That's Ed right there! And, 2 hours later, it's like, you got the part. I'm like, sweet. So anytime I was kind of confused about, where's Ed, I would just literally go like, where do you get water from this thing? And, it would bring me right back, In voiceover land, they call that the tagline of the character, everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, well, I think that is just. I'm sorry. We are so way off right now, and I just can't. I just love it. I love it.
Well, that is great. I hope you have some ways to keep the enthusiasm in the room, but if not, then, well, send it off with some chunky puffs and some gravy cakes, okay?
Okay, hang on. Oh, gosh.
Absolutely.
This is the best birthday ever. Best birthday
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, friend.
Okay. BlogTalkRadio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Matt Hill, best known as Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy, and Captain in the Game Master from the self-titled series. Oh, God. Okay, well, let's dive into this. One of your earliest known roles is Kevin Keene from Captain N the Game Master. What was it like working on the show, and what did you think of his character?
Oh, man. Talk about, like, jumping in with both feet because, you know, like I said, I'd been doing this radio show for a couple of years. And so, you know, I at least, thank God, I'd, you know, been in front of the microphone, or sort of, is that in front of the microphone or behind it? I always get confused. I wonder. Well, whatever way I was, I spoke into it and it made sounds. So, but I, you know, I'd had, what do you call it? I mean, experience already, but then, you know, I mean, this was kind of a big deal for me and everybody that was connected with Captain N because it was the first sort of like, you know, it was a big, you know, it was an, what do you call it? An NBC show. Right. And, you know, so it was going to get like the full Saturday morning cartoon ride. And, you know, and, you know, at one point they were talking about doing sort of like a spin-off. And, you know, I remember them saying, you know, that there was a possibility that I'd have to go to LA to, you know, maybe do some promo for the show and, you know, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, you know, at 8, I guess what was I was 19 at that time. You know, it was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. You know, and then getting to work with, you know, everybody that, like I said, we were all awesome in our own right. And at the same time, we were all pinching ourselves because it was like, oh my God, this is the best, you know, the best gig ever. And I think that was, you know, honestly, one of those shows that I think probably could have gone, you know, 5 seasons. But at the same time, I guess, you know, in cartoon land, you know, it wasn't quite doing the numbers, I guess, that they needed it to do after season 2. And, you know, so, you know, off we went. But, you know, like I say, for me, it's really cool because it was kind of one of those iconic early, you know, cartoons where, you know, they mixed, you know, sort of like that new genre of, you know, video gaming and, you know, with sort of classic cartoons, right?
What made Captain N unique was that it took, I believe at the time, released games for the, you know, just recently released Nintendo Entertainment System and tied them in, and you even got a couple little hints on how to beat some of your favorite games. Like in the first episode, Kevin in Videoland, he talks about the warp zone in level 4 of Super Mario Brothers, where if you go into 4-2 and you go all the way in the sewer level and you go all the way past it, you can enter a warp zone, which will take you to either 5 or 6. So it's kind of like a, you know, it's kind of a hint show. And I believe that Nintendo also intended it, you know, to tie in so they could promote some of the games that were coming out at the time, like Punch-Out, Kid Icarus, Final Fantasy, Zelda 2, Link's Awakening, or The Legend of Link. And, you know, just, it felt like, you know, it was a show to promote, you know, video games. And
totally.
And of course, you know, many fans have mixed emotions. It's cheesy, it's corny, it's weird because a lot of them complain because some of the characters do not represent what they thought their video game counterparts could be. Like a big complaint is for Mega Man. Everyone's in the game saw that Mega Man was blue, where they had him in a Captain N as green, and always adding Mega to everything, like Mega High, and many thought that was annoying. Or for Kid Icarus, when he would add Icarus, like your Heinecus, and everyone, oh man, I got friends who just say, just shoot me now, please shoot me. What did you think of working on the show, especially with such a colorful cast, like the voice actors like Ian Corbett, Scott McNeil? You even got to work with the iconic Frank Welker, who many know as Fred Jones from Scooby-Doo. So what was it like working on the show?
Oh, I mean, like you say, we were all, you know, up here in Vancouver land, patched in with, you know, the wonderful folks in LA and, you know, back in the early days of Phone Patch even. And, it was just awesome because, you know, every show we were kind of on the seat of our pants because, you know, half the time you're absolutely trusting in, you know, what it is that you got going on. And at the same time, you know, going like, oh my God, you know, this is so much fun. And, you know, we'd often, you know, Ian Corlett, well, again, he's one of my best friends. And, you know, Gary Chalk was in it. He played Hippo and, you know, and Eggplant Wizard, you know, Mike Donovan. And, you know, we all sort of like got our create on, if that makes any sense in terms of like, you know, us all kind of finding our sweet spots, right? For, for these characters, and realizing that we were sort of part of this this thing that they were creating. And I remember watching the first episode and was like, hearing myself, not because I'd heard myself on the radio a lot already, but to actually watch TV and see my voice coming out of this character, that had been penned for Kevin, and I was like, hey, that's me. It was kind of cool,
It does sound like you had a lot of fun doing the show. I mean, 19 years old, playing video games, with the power to enter the video game realm, and you gotta love the power pause. You gotta love the power pause.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's why I say, you realize cartoons, man, it's a good thing.
Yes, I bet you at least dollars to donuts that the sale of NES controllers and zappers went up because Kevin just made it look like a badass. Heck, I go to anime conventions, and you would not believe how many Captain N cosplayers I see.
Really? Wow.
I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm done.
That's cool, man. Well, I just got back from Stan Lee's convention in Los Angeles, which was back in September, and that was one of the first times that I'd actually ended up having a pretty cool dialogue with a couple of Captain N fans, and so it was cool because it's like, okay, this might make sense. You get the opportunity to kind of, in a way, hold court, and I get to do it by just talking characters and doing different voices that I've done, and it's kind of cool because that's what connects us all, in this. That's what I think is so brilliant about, obviously being able to do cartoons, obviously, and on top of, being part of some of the film projects that I've been able to do over the years as well. It's I don't know, I'm just finding that as I go along, it's that connection point with people that, when they share how much, this particular show or this particular character really helped them through, say school, or really helped them through a really tough time in their life. And, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm asked to phone, let's say at an animation convention. I'll do that as part of my talk. We'll have a section where, somebody will come up and ask if I could maybe, phone somebody who's, in the hospital, or somebody who's had an accident, or, hopefully not for too many people, but, this one lady, her son was in the hospital, and he was fighting cancer in a big way. And so for me to be able to phone, and like do, Ed and do Raphael and, any of the other shows that I've done, and know that it's going to help inspire that person to, keep fighting in that respect, or, you know what I mean? It's just like, they're saying thank you to me, and I'm like, dude, Ed, thank you. I wouldn't be doing this if you weren't also, such big fans and all that. So, you get what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's such a win-win, right? I mean, that's what I think is so brilliant about, especially cartoons,
Yeah, it's a
we
symbiotic
can do anything
relationship.
in cartoons.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship in a sense. You give us
I
all
like how you say that, Dennis. It is a symbiotic. What is that again?
Symbiotic, Ed.
Symbiotic, yes. A symbiotic.
Vintage Ed!
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's actually a great tangent. So we gotta get into this. Let's talk about the character that made your career and the show that made my childhood. One of your best known roles is, of course, Ed from the iconic Ed, and Eddy. You've already talked about working on the program, and you talked about how you developed Ed's character. What's the thing you like most about Ed?
He is the best looking of all of us. That is what I think, in my humble opinion. Don't ask one of the Kanker sisters, though, because she will, well, they think I'm kind of a big deal, too. But I like playing Ed because he has a big heart. He runs very funny. And also he is, like I said, he is quite a ladies' man, and he can dance the light fantastic.
I think Ed is a character that we can all relate to, because there are days when we just have that that derp moment, and we want to say the most stupidest thing. There you go. Now I'm doing it now, and now I'm proud of it. But Ed just he reflects what's makes humanity so great. You know, in a time when there's war and the economy and the devastation from all the megastorms, you know, there's a way that we can all look into ourselves and find that ignorant bliss. And I gotta tell you, if ignorance is bliss, Ed is the king.
Thank you. Yeah, I know you're totally right, man. I mean, it's you know, you nailed it. It's like, look at everything that's going on in the world right now. It's you know, and that's real. And what it's funny because it wasn't until I ran around North America and had those magic experiences with people sharing, you know, how much, you know, these characters I'd played had affected their lives and helped me connect with them as I was running through their, you know, the different towns. But it made me really look at exactly what you're talking about now. Is it rededicated me, especially when I got home, to go, okay, if I'm going to do cartoons and movies and TV for the rest of my life, let it be about this, you know, let it be about not only doing the best, most fun jobs that I can do, but hopefully that continues to, you know, spread this joy and inspiration to people, you know, through the realities of just, you know, all of us living here on planet Earth. You know what I mean? And it's cool because, you know, I was always super grateful for the jobs that I have and that I would do. But I truly always thought that they just led to another job for me to be able to have this great life that I was, you know, really grateful to live. But it feels like I've been able to go about, you know, 28 feet deep, on the experience. And so, you know, hopefully that makes sense. It's, you know, I guess if it was from Eddy, he would say, I am fully card carrying member of the inspiration team. You know, so I say, bring on the gravy cakes and milk and Jawbreakers, and, you know, let's have a little more Christmas spirit, shall we?
Well, yeah, because Christmas is right around the corner, and one thing that I'm going to do is yes, it is.
Yep, holly jolly holly.
Gonna get ready for Santa.
Santa! You know what? Just so you know, Dennis, that is my most favorite episode of Ed, Edd, and Eddy. I just have to say that. Christmas special, absolutely. Like, the scene where Ed literally, like, rips down the house, basically pulling, you know, Double D. Or no, was it Eddy or Double D? I can't remember, but, you know, he pulls them through and with all the Christmas lights and, you know, and then he's getting everything set up for Santa with everything. I just thought, oh, that is Ed, man. I love that guy.
I love that and the episode Fa La 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 Ed, where they
that was pretty good too.
and they go around caroling and they sing those. They sing the songs like that. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. So give us some cash. Again, those are
absolutely.
That is just perfect, and I think Ed makes a fantastic elf. Santa would be definitely proud to have Ed as an elf.
Absolutely. Well, and all the listeners out there, if they want Ed to come to their mall and be with Santa as his elf, just invite me, and I will see what I can do.
Oh gosh, Ed, I think you at Kenwood Mall, I think that would just light up so many Christmases for everyone, and that would just be fantastic. So, what is the funniest / weirdest thing that you've ever said as Ed?
Is this a PG show or is this a G-rated show?
Well, you know, we have the ability to bleep out stuff in the edit, so,
No, because it is, we will make sure that it is general friendly. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the very first time I ever said, kick my feet, kick my feet, kick my feet, I just lost the plan. I could not stop laughing. And so every time I would do, you know, an edism like that, I just got the giggles. And I mean, every once in a while, we'd have to stop production for 10 minutes because I just couldn't get through it, you know? I'm sorry. I wish I had a more, you know, I mean, I've got an R-rated one, but you know, that's more of an explanation rather than a saying.
Yeah, let's not ruin the childhood memories here, Matt. Let's keep it.
Exactly. I do not want to break your childhood memories. It is okay.
I think my personal favorite, and it comes down to 3. It was one episode where they were all flashing back, and Ed just goes, "You bet your sweet bippy I did." From Rowan and Martin's laughing. That was really hilarious. Another one was, let's see, what was it? It was the episode, A Case of Ed, where Double D thinks he has lackadaisy cathro disease, and while Eddie and Ed are torturing Kevin, Ed sticks his big toe up and he goes, "Hello, Kevin. Why are you such a sad sack? 'Cause he has been grounded. Oh, pardon me. I should be in show business." And my absolute favorite of all time is 4 words. Slide on the soap. Slide on the soap. Slide on the soap.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, I like that one. I slide on the soap.
I guess that's why I had these in the demo reel. That is my absolute all-time favorite thing. When I hear that, it's just, it's I gotta tap out because it's just so great.
Brilliant.
Okay. So anyway, moving outside of voice acting, you're also known. Yes. Outside of voice acting, you're also known as Raphael in the 3rd live-action TMNT movie and in Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. What was it like working in a live-action series, and how did it differ from voice acting?
Well, I mean, it's funny, even with playing, one of the turtles, it was, it's been part of like this really cool, journey in terms of like getting to be part of some, some pretty, like some classics, and, being part of like the Ninja Turtle series now, and sort of like the, all the inceptions of it, to, getting to be able to do it twice. I mean, at first they asked me to be inside the suit again for, the Next Mutation. And at that point, I remember how hot and humid and heavy the turtle suit was in Turtles 3. So I just opted to do, the voice of Raph at that point. But, to be inside the suit and now again, it's wild. It's like, I can look back on, how magic the experience was. And, how cool it was to be part of sort of like this franchise and family. And I mean, because we're coming up to like, what are we? We're coming up to like 30 years, aren't we on that? Or 25 years?
I believe that the Turtle series turned 25, I believe in 2009 with
11. 9, okay.
With the release of Turtles Forever, which was the 4Kids version of the Ninja Turtles movie, where the Turtles from the modern day meet the 1980s Ninja Turtles.
Ah, okay, there you go. But no, it was so cool, man, because like I said, I'd already cut my chops or my teeth on, doing a lot of voiceover, and, I'd always wanted to do film and TV as well. And so it was really cool to be cast as, one of these Ninja Turtles, because it also allowed me to take my, my athletic prowess, and, all the, running and other stuff that I'd done throughout my life and literally jump inside the, the turtle suit. And, I'm like, I remember thinking like, God, I'm getting paid to be a turtle. Oh my, this is the best job ever. And, I got to train with, a gentleman by the name of Shishir, who played Michelangelo. He was the stunt turtle for Michelangelo, and he happened to live up here as well. And so, we trained together for about 8 months beforehand. So, I wasn't a black belt by any means, but, my martial arts skills, were rather proficient. Well, while we filmed at least, which really helped me because, our Ninja Turtle suits, this was old school. I mean, our suits weighed, God, probably upwards of about, like 45 pounds on top of, then having the turtle, like the big computer pack and stuff inside our shells, right? So, it took 2 weeks just to get used to putting this thing on. And, after getting kicked in the head, I don't know how many times, and banging into walls and, banging into the rest of the turtles when we were in scenes because we couldn't see a thing and we were blind, deaf, and dumb. The ultimate in kabuki theater, if you know what that is, right? But it was kind of amazing because like everything else, your senses, everything else gets really, really strong, being inside that thing. And so it was kind of cool. I actually felt kind of naked every time I took the turtle suit off while we were filming. And then, when we actually finished the whole production, I kind of went into mourning for about a month going like, no, I miss playing Raphael, And at the same time, it was nice to just let my skin breathe after wearing that turtle suit for 3 months,
Oh yeah. From what I've seen, I've seen photos of you in the turtle costume and taking the head off. It seems like it is a rather cool and hot procedure to play Raphael in that turtle suit. And that actually brings us into our next question. So can you explain to us how the turtle suit actually works? Because I've always wanted to know this. I saw this little special when I was very little about about how the costumes work, but I kind of forgot a little bit about it. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it was quite a laborious, process, because as I was saying about the shell and the computer pack to kind of finish it all off. You started by going in and you got very intimate with your turtle costumer, who for me was a lovely lady named Evie, who worked on all the Sesame Street stuff. Her and my puppeteer, actually, his name was Noel. He played Snuffleupagus, so he was the puppeteer for Snuffleupagus on Sesame Street. And Evie, my dresser, she came from the Sesame Street franchise as well. And so, she would start by literally talcum powdering me down. And with this mix of, like, I don't know what the heck it was. It was, sort of like Vaseline and all sorts of different stuff that would kind of, make me powdery and greasy all at the same time. And then I would put this bodysuit on that nowadays it's, have you ever heard of that stuff called Under Armour?
I have heard of Under Armour, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's like for hockey players and stuff. Basically, it's like a first layer of keeping you insulated. And so in this case, I think it was to keep the all the foam, latex, rubber, and all that stuff off your skin. But and also ease of putting it on and off. And so start with that. Then I would put the torso on. So that was the I guess the the legs and the bum and all that stuff and the waist. And then I would put the top part on. And she had to hand stitch everything together. That's what took so long, was sort of, and these things were form fitting, right? Like, cause I guess about 6 months prior, I'd gone down to, the actual, studio that did, our Ninja Turtle costumes. Cause on this one, it wasn't the Jim Henson group. On Turtles 3, it was, the fine folks from, All Effects Studios out in Burbank, California. And, I had done a full body life cast. So picture yourself being covered in the most disgusting paper mache feeling type of stuff, to the point where you've got 2 little straws in your nose to literally keep you alive, with a guy, yelling in your ear to tell you to please not ask to come out of this thing until it's set, or they'd have to do it all over again. And this was seriously the closest that I've ever felt that I was seriously going to die. It was, thank God, it's like when Casey Jones says in the first Turtles, when he's, what was it, Donatello said, "I think you're claustrophobic." Because if you're even one bit claustrophobic, being inside the turtle suit, and also the process of actually making it, like your life cast, will take you down. It was very scary. And then lucky for me, I'm a little bit like Ed, so I remember just thinking, okay, think happy thoughts. And before I knew it, I sort of had fun listening to my heartbeat, beating in my brain, and I kind of almost had a nap, actually. So it was pretty cool. And then, you fast forward to a day on the turtle set, basically from start to finish, from that, the talcum powder to the Under Armour stuff, to then being in full turtle gack, would take usually about 2 hours. And then, when we were filming, they couldn't really take all that stuff off very easily. So a lot of the time what they did is they just literally took the element out of blow dryers for your hair, so that when they blew it, it didn't blow hot air. It just literally blew air. And so if it was between takes, they would literally just open up our mouths, so you'd finally see us inside there. And they'd just blow, cold or warm air, inside the thing, so they would keep us going. And, for me, I mean, I'm a pretty big sweater. And so, I probably drank about, maybe 4 or 5 gallons of liquid every single day. And I still ended up losing about 15 pounds. Getting a life cast done, it's weird, because like I said, you skirt this point of like, oh my God, I'm going to die, to like, ooh, this is strangely comfortable, and then same thing being inside the turtle suit. It was just like, God, this thing is going to eat me alive, and you know, because like we had 2 turtle heads, and you know, with all like the gears and the servos and the, you know, the mechanics that were inside this, you know, this head. On the outside, it just looked like Raphael, or it looked like Donatello, or it looked like, you know, Michelangelo. But inside, holy moly, it was just this like collusion of like, you know, moving parts, and you know, all I ever heard was like my mouth just, you know, clamping shut and opening, and my eyes, you know, going like, and then my puppeteer's voice in my earpiece. Strangely enough, I'd always hear him saying, Matt, you're gonna hit the wall. No, Matt. And I wouldn't hear him until it was too late. So I'd be like, poof, and he'd be like, I was trying to tell you 5 minutes ago.
Well, it surely had to be an adventure just getting adjusted to moving around in that giant turtle outfit. I mean, if you see some of the cosplayers nowadays and what they go through to make their costumes, what they do seems like a walk through Care Bear Land compared to what you had to go through, especially with the grease and coating. So, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but in a sense, you did become buttered toast.
You know, absolutely we did. I think as they say, my friend, every experience gets you ready for another one.
Yeah, but of course, ironically, after the third movie, you would also, I don't know if you donned the costume again. I know there was a special episode of Power Rangers in Space where the Turtles showed up in an episode. I know if you were in that. Probably not, but
no, I didn't. Yeah, no. Well, no, as I said, I mean, when the Next Mutation for Fox came along, they shot that up here actually, and so that's why they asked if I would, you know, reprise Raphael again, and I said absolutely, I would love to reprise Raphael if I could do the voice, and because at that point too, I just kind of felt like I just didn't know if I wanted to get back in the turtle suit for, you know, what it ended up being for that show. It was about a 6-month deal. And so, you know, they were like, well, yeah, how about playing the voice? And I was like, I would love to play the voice. So, you know, we got to do that. So it was fun. I mean, you know, every once in a while I'd be like, oh man, that would have been fun to actually be in the suit again and do the voice at the same time, you know, but it's cool, you know.
Yeah. You love being a turtle, but not that much.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's like one time is the best, you know, the second time may not be as good, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, you at least can say that you got the experience of wearing one of those costumes, and that's something not a lot of people get to do.
No, exactly. You know, and that's what, you know, I say, I'm so blessed to, you know, to do what I do, because holy smokes, I mean, geez, man, I get to, you know, I've got to play, I've got to be a Ninja Turtle, got to hang out with Jackie Chan and watch him balance things and, you know, juggle pretty much anything in the room. I think he would have juggled me if they would have let him, but, you know, was, a very, very lucky guy.
Yeah, you're actually the second guest we've had that actually got to hang out with Jackie Chan. Earlier this July, during the summer of Bigger Biggerness 2, we got to talk with Christian Potenza, who actually got to star in the tuxedo with Jackie Chan.
Oh, nice.
So
nice. Yeah, Mr. Chan is... What's that?
What is Jackie Chan like in real life?
What is Jackie Chan in real life? You know what? I'm sure you probably heard the same thing from the other gentleman. But my experience with Jackie was like, you know, first of all, realizing, wow, man, I am getting to work with a legend to begin with. And also just one of the kindest, you know, gentle souls, really. You know, and he was so funny, you know, I mean, he was very, until I think he got used to, you know, being on set, say, because at that point, Owen Wilson had left, you know, when they were shooting Shanghai Nights. And so it was literally just me and Jackie, and, you know, for, I guess, probably about a week, I guess, doing our scenes. And so, you know, at first day he was polite, but he was very quiet. But then I think as he got a little bit more comfortable, we were yakking a little bit more, because, you know, I mean, you got to remember, you know, English has always been a second language. And I mean, you know, he, man, talk about a hard worker. The guy, you know, learned everything, but he learned to speak English phonetically, you know. And so, that's, you know, that'd be like you or me trying to now go over and learn Chinese, you know, very tough thing to do. But, you know, just, I mean, the guy's just first class, you know, it was very cool. And, you know, I took my what do you call it? I took my leave or whatever, or my nod from one of the crew members. Came up to me afterwards and he's like, "Dude, you're going toe to toe with Jackie Chan. Nice work, dude. That guy's a legend." I was like, "All right, I must be doing a good job. Excellent."
I wouldn't screw with Jackie Chan personally. I wouldn't screw with him.
Because really, that's what it was all about. I was actually really scared because I thought, you know what, this guy's going to kick my butt if I even get out of line. But no, he was really fun to work with. It was just the magic experience again. And it's funny because I love westerns and I love doing all that sort of stuff. But it wasn't until I saw it on the screen when we went to the premiere a year later or whatever. I saw everything. I was like, all right, nice. So it was very, very good to me.
So are there any new series that you're working on that you can tell us about?
Absolutely. I'm just about to wrap. We've got one more episode, actually. There's 26 new Pac-Man episodes. So it's going to be the new version of Pac-Man, and it's going to be in 3D, kids. I play the school bully named Skibo. Totally the best character in the whole show. He kind of like spends every episode trying to, basically kick the crap out of Pac-Man and, make him not be so popular with everybody, so it's been fun.
So will he make Pac-Man go, wee, wop, wop?
Exactly. No, we're having a blast. I mean, like I say, we got a great cast of people, great directing on it, as well. I got a new show, and that actually should be out. I know it's on ABC in Europe, and I think it's going to be on ABC Kids or ABC Family, and it's called Shizao. We just wrapped that, and that's 26 episodes. And then I don't know, do you guys have a show down there called Wreck-It the Rabbit?
Oh, I think maybe Kelly Sheridan talked to us about that last year.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Yeah, Kelly's a rock star. Yeah, she played my mom on that, and I play her. Well, I play her son.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Kelly is awesome.
Yeah, we did 100 episodes of that.
That's pretty cool. So it's called Shize?
Oh yeah, the other one's called Shizou. So SHEZOW. And it's brilliant because it's about a young kid who gets superhero powers, but because he stole a really special ring that was meant for his sister, every time he turns into a superhero, he's a chick.
Wow. So I guess Shizou will be the She's It.
Exactly. And you get cheesy with it. So check that out at your local Saturday morning cartoons and all that jazz. And then what else? Geez, and just kind of heading off on a new adventure. I just did a guest spot on a Disney cartoon just about last week in LA. It's called Fish Hooks.
Now that show is pretty crazy. It
is pretty awesome.
Fish going to school, and it's a school of fish. That's hilarious. That's a knee slapper right there, Matt.
Yeah. So it's, like I say, it's been I think as Ed would say, it was God bless us everyone because we are special.
Ooh. I love this.
In the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, anyway, are there any scheduled appearances coming up for you for any conventions in the near future?
Oh, yes. Well, just got booked on one in March down in the great state of Texas. And I believe it's either in Dallas or just outside of Dallas. And I'm talking to the folks at another one in Texas that I think is the weekend before, and it's down in Houston. Then I think we just got word that we're going to be at Comic-Con in San Diego in July.
Well, there you go.
June or July.
There you go, Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, baby.
You can't get any bigger than Comic-Con, Matt. That's like the WrestleMania of conventions, and you cannot get any.
Well, yeah. That's what I hear, and I've never been able to go. I was supposed to go with Ed and Eddy, for God's sakes, and because I was doing triathlons at the time. I think I had an Ironman that weekend, so I couldn't make it. And You know, and then last year and the year before, same thing. I was busy doing something else, but I will be there for Comic-Con this year. I got a good strange happening for you. When I was at Stan Lee's convention just, you know, this past September in LA, I was sitting at my booth and I looked across and there was the original Batman and Robin staring at me, going like, and I must say I was kind of proud of this moment because I had a bigger lineup than they did because, you know, they you know, a bunch of kids and stuff found out that, you know, I was Ed and Raphael. And so it just happened to be, you know, at this point in the show, I had a big lineup and I was holding court, and I remember them I remember them looking over, and I remember thinking like they're probably going, "Who's this Ed?" It was brilliant, and then also Lou Ferrigno was right next to them, you know, the Hulk.
Oh boy.
And then a beautiful '80s you know, TV siren babe named Morgan Fairchild.
Oh no.
It was brilliant. I was like, I remember kind of picturing myself going, "This is surreal." Like, what do you say? It's secretly strange.
Surreal.
Surreal. That's what it was. Yeah, because I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." I almost, you know, a couple times I'm like, I said a couple of the Batman words, you know, as Ed. You know, I'm like, "Pow, zip, zakui." You know,
did you go?
That's why I think they looked over.
Did you go boing, smack, whoosh?
Zimmer. It was great.
I can see Robin going, "Holy Jawbreakers, Batman! That's Ed from Ed and Eddy." Yes, it is.
Exactly. Well, it was kind of cool because what was the name of that? You remember the Munsters? You remember that show called The Munsters?
You know, do 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 do.
Yeah.
Do.
Okay, well, you know the little kid.
Yeah.
You know the little kid that was in that Little Eddie Munster, I guess was his name?
Yeah, it was Eddie.
Yeah, okay, well, he's now all grown up, obviously. When I was at a convention in, St. Louis, back in June, I guess he was there with the rest of them, you know, a couple of the Munsters, and it was his daughter that ended up meeting me as, you know, from Ed, and I guess all of a sudden he comes back and he's back with his daughter, and it was just really odd, you know, because he introduces, he's like, "Oh yeah, hi, I'm so and so from the Munsters." I'm like, "Dude, I remember watching you when I was a kid." You know, and you know, he's like, "Yeah, my daughter really, is it okay? Could I get an autograph or could I get a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, absolutely." Can I have your car?
Ironic, because you've got Ed and you got Eddie, but you haven't got Double D. I swear, if someone had ever walked by, that would have been just the holy freaking trinity right there.
Yeah, well, just so you know, you hear it here, I am going to try and get you an interview with Sam Vincent, who plays Double D, my buddy.
I'll tell you what, Sam Vincent, you know, really sounds like a really cool guy to hang out with.
Well, he is okay, but he kind of is, he is a little bit like Double D, so he gets a little bit, how do you say, OCD. He's always like, "Oh, messy. You know, so he's always like, he's picking stuff up all the time and wiping doorknobs and, you know, touching like the lights on and off 3 times before he can go forward into a room. But that's okay. You can talk to Sam about that.
Holy crap. I will have to mention that to him. Oh man. That does sound perfect. Well, before we get into our listener questions, we always like to ask our guests, do you have any advice for those who want to get their start in the voice acting industry?
My nickel quarter, my Ed and Eddy quarter advice. I would say, you know, if you got that urge and, you know, and it is sparkly inside your heart, then just go for it. You know, this is the crazy, amazing thing about this business is that there's no one route to success. The only route that's always the same for everybody is, you know, stay strong, stoke your fire, you know, keep developing your craft and just connect. And, you know, it's an amazing world that we live in, you know, especially animation and voiceover, you know, you just connect and keep going. You know, I really, that's my honest answer. It's, cause it's so different a journey for everybody, right? You know, if you feel like you got to do it by going and taking, you know, some voiceover classes, then, you know, I'd say that's probably a great place to start. you know, if it's for some people, you know what, I know I want to do voices, but I kind of maybe feel like maybe I'm a better, you know, sports announcer, or maybe I could be a great radio DJ. Although nobody's going to be as good as Dennis, because, you know, he is the next greatest radio personality. This is what I'm hearing. But, you know, people could come to you for that. But you know what I'm saying? I think it's one of those things where, you know, like I said, I remember when I had my light bulb moment, and I remember the day I decided, I was just like, I'm going to do this, you know, and you know, the one thing I'll leave you with is, you know, why shouldn't the world be able to share in your gifts? If you feel like you've got those gifts to give, you know, no matter where it is in this industry, give it a go, you know, because it's a great ride, my friends. And, you know, like I said, I never thought I would say this, but, you know, if I could say this to myself 25 years ago, you know, from today, I would have gone like, wow, my friend, it has been a crazy, amazing ride, you know, and it really has. You know, I can't believe I'm on year 25. That's just like, whoa. Because I feel like I'm 25 and I'm just starting, you know, and so, you know, that's what I feel stoked about.
You know, I'm just going to throw this out there, Matt. We got to say it. Ed and Eddy's got to come back. It just has to come back. Ed and Eddy has to come back. You know, I've been putting up with Adventure Time and Regular Show and Chowder and Flapjack and Flip Flop and all that crap. No show on Cartoon Network has been as good as Ed and Eddy. Yeah. And now they have live action shows on Cartoon Network.
I humbly agree, my friend.
I don't want to watch Dragons. Absolutely. I don't want to watch. Well, Matt's pretty funny, actually. I'll keep that. At Adventure Time, they're good. But we gotta get rid of some of this crap on there. You know, like Flapjack and Chowder. You know, cartoons nowadays just, they don't have that same zip that Ed and Eddy have. And Dan Antonucci, if I could, I would get down and I would bow before him, because he took our childhoods and just made them over the top with Ed and Eddy. Whether they were sailing down a river in an inner tube, whether they were doing Fat Freaky, whether they were trying to wrestle to build WWE's strength up, it was. And of course, another one of my favorites, the one where they go into the haunted house because of dandelions. that was great. But Ed and Eddy, of course, I gotta say it. I'll say it again. Greatest Cartoon Network cartoon of all time, and it's gotta come. Ever.
Ah, well, thanks, Dad.
Ever. So anyway, we're going to take some of your listener questions right now. If you want to give us a ring-a-ding-ding on the shrimp line, be sure to call us at area code 347-884-9149 or tweet us at ATExplosion with your question for Mr. Hill. Our first question.
Wow.
I know, we got all kinds of social networks and all that.
I like that. Is there any shrimp left?
Nope. Unfortunately, there is no shrimp left, Ed.
Oh.
I wish we,
Maybe next time.
Yeah. Hey, hook me one of those giganto Jawbreakers. I will hook you up with some shrimp, my friend.
Thank you.
Our first question comes from Nova2 Ace Girl. Out of all the characters you have played, which one is your favorite and why?
Well, what was the lovely girl's name again?
Nova2 Ace Girl.
Hello, Nova2 Ace Girl. Well, I would have to say that probably my most favorite ever character. I'm not sure if you know, because I don't know if I have told it yet, but I will break the silence and say that it is probably the Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddy. It's a little show from Cartoon Network that you may or may not have ever heard of. But I thought it was a very sparkly adventure. I mean, we had so much fun with this show. I mean, I think in a way it's kind of like why, 90% of the questions in the talk was around Ed, Ed and Eddy, it's kind of the shizzle, but then I don't know, but I get to do so many different things. It's like, I get to play, what's his face? Kiro, in Card Captors, that little character that's like, I just want some yummy pudding. I get to do some really cool things, but definitely, did I answer? Are you getting like live, like thumbs up from the listeners asking these questions, Dennis?
Well, we actually posted this on our YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, if you could say back to that lovely lady that double thumbs up, Ed loves her.
We will make sure that gets back to her, Ed. I guarantee it.
Okay.
Right. Our next question is from Mega Man Ponzal 363. Well, actually, it's not a question, but they want to talk a little bit about your work on My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. I don't know if you know this, but in the United States, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic is a pretty big juggernaut among my listening audience. And of course, on there, you actually play one of the Wonderbolts, Soren. So.
That's right. Well, what was actually really funny about playing Soren was, again, art imitating life, because I literally just returned from that, 11,000-mile run around North America. And I guess about maybe a month or two after getting home, I got the call to come in and play Soren, and it was perfect because I go in there, they're like, dude, just be yourself, okay? Think of all the adventures that you've done, think of what you just came back from, and just be extreme. And I'm like, okay. So I, basically just played myself, in cartoons for him, and as I get to do with all the characters. But actually, that's what the convention is in March. I think it's a pony convention.
Ooh.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. So if there's any pony fans out there that would like Matt Hill to come and represent some ponies, just get a hold of my agent, Jerry. You can go onto my website, matt-hill.com. Go to my Have Matt at Your event, or contact Matt. And Mr. Jerry Cates would be more than happy to take your request.
And we'll make sure to link your website to the All Taste Explosion website at alltasteexplosion.com.
All Taste Explosion. I like that. That's a great website.
Oh, thank you. It's actually our main show. The Dennis Daniels Show is a small branch off the All Taste Explosion with the Boogaloo Shrimp featuring John Pokemon.
Whoa. Huge!
Thank you. Yes, yes. And if you guys want Matt Hill at your pony convention, make sure to pay his character with some pie.
Pie is good. Yes, that and any other character convention, I am open for business. So it's always so great to come to a con and get to, like you say, get to hang out and I humbly say I have a pretty good I get a pretty good hour-long fan panel that I do, and we get to do this. We get to hang and talk about fun stuff, but also we talk about real stuff and how we can all make a difference in our own lives, with things that we love doing. It's like, look what you're doing with your show, right? You're obviously passionate about it, and you're great at what you do, and so then that builds your audience, and everybody feels good. I think that's what it's all about in my concern. As I think Ed would say, it is all about gravy love.
I love that. Of course, if y'all want to go see Soren and that one dragon that goes, I think he's Crackle's cousin, and I can understand, because Crackle's, he's a little,
that would explain it.
Yeah. that out of nowhere, that weird dragon going, roar! It's like, because that was actually funny. But of course, talking more about dragons, you're going to want to talk to Kathy Westluck, who plays Spike the Dragon. And
absolutely.
Gosh, all these great guys that you get to hang out with. I got to meet Scott McNeil last month in August, and oh boy, he was hitting on the
man of 10,000 voices.
Yeah, the man with 10,000 voices, all of them Koga.
The man with, exactly, yes. He is definitely the man of 10,000 voices.
Gosh, I remember I was trying to get with this girl, and he goes up to her, he goes, Kagome, you're my mate. Why don't you take the mutt face over here and come with me? And I get in his face, and I'm like, what did you say, wolf boy? He goes, sit.
Dennis, if you ever decide not to do a radio show, I think you should get into cartoons, brother.
You are not the first person to say that, Matt. You're not the first, and you're not the last.
Well, it all starts with liking your own voice.
Yeah, I think I like my voice. I think I'll keep it.
That's a great thing, man. Absolutely. Chicks dig it, too.
Okay. Oh, yes, because voice acting, the take it, the ladies.
Exactly. My girlfriend Kate said it's not about how you look, Matt. It's about how you sound. Absolutely.
Oh, well, I'm pretty much screwed in both areas.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. Totally. So do you have another question from anybody?
Yeah. Yes, we actually have we have two more. And okay, this next one's from Geshtar82. With the Wii U coming out this year, what do you think Captain Wii U In would be like? I'd assume he'd be like the Terminator and have infinite time-stopping potential more than Captain N's 1-minute pause action. I don't know if you heard about the Wii U. It's like this. It's the Wii with this little tablet thing. So I guess he's trying to figure out that there might need to be a reincarnation of Captain N instead of having the Nintendo NES controller, you have a Wii U tablet.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. You know what? I mean, it's fully digital. It's fully actually no, it's laser. It's all high def. It's bigger. It's like you're going to the biggest movie theater ever, sitting in the largest, most comfy chair with the biggest popcorn and drink. It's Captain N on the juice. It's the best thing ever. And what I think would be really cool is kind of like what they did with all those superheroes like Sylvester Stallone and Schwarzenegger and whatchamacallit, when what was that, the Expendables? When they brought all these former, big, huge, massive action stars together. I think that it should be that, but it should be like Captain Nintendo, like 25 years later. So he's 40,
or
got a wife, 2 kids,
or his
son
go
save
could
the planet.
Or his son could be the next Captain N.
Exactly, yeah. No, I think it's brilliant. I think it'd be awesome, and maybe John Goodman could play my dad or something,
I could see that. John
actually, John Goodman would play Hippo, and we could get like Tony Danza would play like Kid Icarus.
Yeah, or for Mother Brain, you could have Kevin Michael Richardson. He's pretty.
Absolutely.
he could do those.
Yeah, but I think Mother Brain should be Jewish now, so I think we should get Jerry Seinfeld.
I don't know. I would think that Jerry Lewis, being crazy after being let go from the Labor Day telethon, he might be a lot better of a choice. Or
actually, yeah, you're totally. But I have a question for. Wasn't Jerry Lewis all that crazy?
What?
Sorry, look at the time.
Oh. Okay, well, we'll take one final question or a final request. Yeah. It's a voice request if you're up to doing voices. Yep. It's for
I don't know. I'm kind of shy.
It's for Kiro from Card Captors. And it's from Girl Draco 7. He wants to know what is it about Lee that you hate the most, and what is your favorite dessert?
Well, what I dislike the most about Lee is that, well, actually, I can't really say that because I have to swear, so that wouldn't be very good. But my absolute favorite dessert in the whole wide world is yummy pudding! So, thank you so much for watching Card Captors for all those episodes, and for keeping Kiro the young man and the bitch and dude that he is.
Okay, get out of here, you little ragamuffin. Shoot, go on, get.
Yeah,
calm down here, you old furball.
All right. Sakura!
Right. Okay, well, unfortunately, Matt, the time has come. The walrus said that the show must now come to an end, and I got
to an end.
Yeah, or to the end.
Yep, to the end.
I gotta say, Matt, this was truly a huge honor, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on here and making this such an awesome birthday episode. And I cannot wait to see you in the new Pac-Man that's going to come real soon. Guys, check out matt-hill.com for all the cool things going on in Matt Hill's life. Check out Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation on Netflix. And you can even purchase seasons 1 and 2 of Ed, and Eddy, the complete first and second season, and the complete series of Captain N the Game Master, now available on DVD. Matt, thank you so much for being on the show, and hopefully we can have you back on in the near future.
Absolutely, Mr. Dennis, you are a solid stand-up kind of citizen. So thank you for being you, and remember, everyone out there, to reach for your dreams and inspire from yourself inside, and go out and do great gravy things in the world.
I like the way you think, Ed. How about we go and get some Jawbreakers from the candy store?
I think we shall.
Okay.
And we will invite the Kanker sisters.
We gotta run like hell from them. Well, guys, we will see you down the road.
Okay, buddy. Well, thank you for having me. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, we'll catch you guys down the road. This is the Dennis Daniel Show. Until next time, good night, Chachi.